I grew up in a South Africa which had no television until I was 16 years old. We listened to the radio, Squad Cars, Men from the Ministry, Goon Show. In 1976, which was a momentous year in our country's history, with the uprisings in Soweto, television finally arrived, albeit in the form of a test pattern which lasted for about 6 months, to be followed by many, many years of propaganda interspersed with American sitcoms, dubbed into Afrikaans. In 1982, I discovered computers. I chose to take an elective on computers in education during my teaching diploma, and I learned to use Logo and SuperPilot on the Apple II. What a wondrous gleaming machine it was. I got the bug. While working nights to support myself through university in a bookshop, I read every single programming book that I could devour. How to program in Fortran, COBOL, BASIC. I read them all. I didn't have a computer, of course, so I could only program on pencil and paper, debug and hope for the best. In 1986, I was called up to serve in the South African Defence Force and chose exile rather than killing people in the townships. I lived in London, and a friend of mine lent me his ZX Spectrum, in which I would program games in BASIC. At last, I had a computer that I could actually do something with. In 1990, political parties in South Africa were unbanned, and I returned home to work in a school in a squatter camp in Durban. We often had to go without pay, but I managed to scrimp and save enough to buy an IBM XT, and I used that mainly to create spreadsheets, which I helped to run administration at the school. I started creating learning materials, and I really started to catch the technology and education bug. By 2000, I was teaching computers as well as English, and I set up an online community for English teachers. I learned HTML, PHP, MySQL. I then learned all the new Web 2.0 skills, blogging, podcasting, tweeting. It was wicked. So here I am before you, a thoroughly teacher 2.0. And if I think about it, it's a long journey from a little boy, 6 or 7 years old, growing up on a farm, a rural area in Natal. The only form of communications with the outside world really was the party line telephone, to where I'm now. Instant communication, global communication. I Skype with other teachers in America, Germany, all over the world. Communicate via email, share ideas. I have people commenting on my blog, I comment on other people's blogs. Such a difference in just, 40 years? Well, and I'm a technophile. As I said, I caught the bug, but it does worry me sometimes. Is the world we're creating now, with less attention span, is it good for thinking? Can any subject hold our attention long enough for us to think deeply about it? I do struggle to read a bit more. If I think back 20 years ago, I could pick up an article, read right through it, keep my attention going the whole time. Now I tend to multitask. I'm reading an article at the same time as doing something else, and the attention's not quite there. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. As human beings, we're developing perhaps greater facility in one area than another, and it's changing, as Stephen Harnett points out. Is it good? Is it bad? I think the only thing really that makes sense is that there will be good and there will be bad, and we as human beings need to make sure that we maintain our humanity. We need to struggle to make sure that what we do in digital spaces preserves our humanity. It makes us better people wherever we're headed.